commentary on the Dead Rising franchise? Celebration! Curse you, Capcom! And curse you too, Chuck Green! Comment here. So I've made it no real secret that I'm a fan of the Dead Rising series. Heck, I've done a live stream with the game with really crappy footage. I should really invest in a better capture card. But recently, the 4th installment of the game came out, and if you're no stranger to the internet, you would learn there's quite a bit of controversy with the game. The removal of time constraints, changed Frank West's voice actor, and... oh yeah, if you don't want spoilers, I would suggest that you exit the video now and go watch some of my other content. I've got a pretty good selection with annotations here, and here. But yeah, if you don't want spoilers, leave now. Are you, still here? Alright, don't say I didn't warn you. At the end of the game, supposedly, Frank West dies. Why do I say supposedly? Well, we'll get to that more in depth with the actual video, so with the controversy around the game, one would expect people to voice their complaints about it online. Thus, enter today's subject, Realtalk with Truth. And with a name like that, and looking at his YouTube avatar, I'm getting some Red Pill Gaming flashbacks here. Anyway, he made a video talking about how he hates the game now. Why? I think it's best if we just dive into it.
With one game that almost got my money. Yeah, I know a lot of guys saying, what game is that, bad guy? Dead Rising 4! That junk! Don't get me wrong, the game looks good. You know, it got a good sense of humor. You know, it's really funny. It's funny. But the ending! It's garbage! You know, Frank West died. And...
bloodsuckers. Now, this is a minor complaint, but when you're talking about a recently released game, and said game has a story, it's a good idea not to reveal the spoilers while giving a proper warning to your audience. And while yes, our bad guy here, that's how he refers to himself by the way, did put spoilers in the video title, the ending of a game is a major spoiler that's much more noted. And something like that should also be reinforced as well, since your title does say spoilers, it doesn't say what kind of spoilers. A small warning at the beginning of the video, clarifying that you are talking about the ending of the game would also help, as it would show that you're not actually, you know, gonna ruin it for your viewers. Kinda like what I did for this video, but as I said, it's just a little something to think about with your viewers in mind.
And let me tell you how he got caught up in all this BS. A woman. Yes, I know a lot of you women say, what are you talking about? A woman did it. Frank West was done. He was, you know, a psychiatrist or a teacher, whatever he was. You know, he was done. So the girl lies to him. He tells her no. He tells her no again. But you can't say no to a woman. We can't. Each time we try and say no, we look as the bad guy. They look at us like, you're wrong. I do stuff for you, so they throw that in your face.
God damn, I'm gonna be frickin' broke at the end of this goddamn commentary. Well, actually, it's not how it goes that way. If you can take a look at this clip right here.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Whoops. How did I get there?
How can you say no to this?
No.
Frank, this is our chance. Please.
Now, while ultimately Frank does cave in and goes to cover the story, Vic wasn't trying to guilt-trip Frank into going, as you're implying here. Rather, she was enticing him with the prospect of him getting back into the spotlight by breaking a very big news story. Also, another kind of nitpick here, but how did you get that Frank became a psychiatrist? He's clearly a teacher, since in the car scene with Vic he talks about class and she's talking about learning.
All the times we've talked after class, have I ever intimated that I wanted to return to Willamette?
So, who better to learn than from a world-class photographer?
Also, the part about, you know, men can't say no to women, it kind of comes off as projection. I'm just saying, bro.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
The alarm goes off. They argue back and forth, so they split up. They have to. This is what I'm talking about. You women are disobedient. You know, each time I watch a movie, each time I watch the anime series or the game, there's always, if there was a male and female, you gotta know someone's gonna be screwed up here. Someone's gonna screw up. If he screws up or she screws up, which one's gonna be? And you got the female. Cause you're irrational. You lash out. You do these things. You know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how this happened to Frank West.
Okay, so this was a little confusing, but claiming the reason why Vic's actions was caused because she was a woman is really, really, really a bad move here. Because, guess what? Not all women are irrational, and not all men are rational. What needs to be considered here is the setting and the characters, Vic in particular. Since we know that Frank's a teacher and Vic's a student, one can easily come to the conclusion that Vic's a college student, i.e. someone who's young and is still learning about the harshness of the real world. And considering the attitude of college students who are looking to make a difference in the world, as well as learning about all the horrible secrets and terrible things happening in the secret lab, i.e. cloning people and actually turning them into zombies without giving them a chance to live, which you know kind of goes against ethics nowadays. Anyone who's not a seasoned pro like Frank West would get emotional regardless of gender. In summary, Vic didn't do what she did because she's a girl, she did it because she was due to her inexperience and misguided idea of what she considers to be justice. Hey now, I didn't get charged this time, so... Arceus, damn it!
I said she thought it'd been better off. And she got him caught up in it. Now Frank's gotta do favors from other people and crap. Now he's gotta do this and do that and crap. Now he's gotta fight his... Now he's gotta figure out what's going on. Now he's gotta fight his way through a horror zombies and mutated monsters. Man, I'm like, this game sucks.
While she did get him caught up in the prologue and the breaking of the labs, Frank gets roped back into his usual zombie butt-kicking self because of Brad, who promised him a chance to clear his name, getting him a chance to break the story and even get a chance to get back at Vic, who's been gone for about 4 months. Now, while one can say that it's still Vic as his motivation, Frank wouldn't have known about it unless Brad brought it up. You know, what's also confusing is the wording here, since I got the vibe that the game sucks now that you have to fight zombies. Oh no, you actually have to play the game and destroy the zombies by various and sometimes very comedic ways. Oh no.
The ending's bad, but you know, the whole part of the game is good. It just sucks you in and then crash your hopes. You kill the golden boy! The freaking guy who made freaking Dead Rising! This makes Dead Rising 3 better! I'll go ignore, let me go to GameStop and ignore Dead Rising 4 and get Dead Rising 3. God, I might as well get the 360 and play the first one!
Now we get to the actual point of this video. No, they didn't kill Frank West. Granted, what happens is complete BS, but there is a DLC expansion pack called Frank Rising. Link in description to the articles that talks about this. And I want you to take notice of the dates. This video came out on the 8th of December, while the announcement of the DLC came out on the 6th. And there have been YouTube videos that have talked about this since it's Capcom pulling this BS with the true ending behind a paywall. But you know what the real kicker is? He's not talking about the ending, not the actual ending of the game.
That's terrible! How can you do this? Well, Shepard died. Thanks to you fans out there were crying like babies. Now Frank West kicks the bucket. But there was a glimpse of hope. I don't know, there was 2 parts. I don't know if there was 2 parts. He lived, or you can make him live, or you make him die. Because I watched the other video. And Frank, you know, this guy met with Frank and told him, well, you can get sloppy, Frank. How you let a rookie beat you to this? It's that girl, that same girl. So I was like, there's 2 parts. If there's hope, it better be. It better not be the same crap he dies.
You guys want to know something? That's actually part of the opening of the game, which makes me think that the guy didn't even know that the ending is, and that he only watched a video that was from the first segment of the game. Since while yes, Vic does leave Frank, we know he escaped from the labs. After all, there's a countrywide manhunt on his head now.
No! No! Vic! 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 Oh, shit! 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 Oh, shit! Shit! Shit!
So this gets really confusing.
Keep your eyes on the prize. She can't even do that right!
Neither can you, since you can't be bothered to realize that Frank doesn't die at the lab.
That's why I'm disappointed in this freaking game. I put back my money and brought tacos. I brought freaking tacos, you guys! What I got there right in freaking 4?
Well, I hope you enjoyed those tacos, cause... So, what the hell did I just commentate over? No, seriously, this has got to be one of the most jumbled up and confusing rant videos I've ever seen. You hate the game based on the fact that Frank West dies, but not at the actual end of the game. If we're to take your word at value, you only saw the laboratory scene, and when Vic drives off, Frank dies, which is never the case. Never mind the fact that Frank supposedly dies at the end of the game, which is actually a good complaint to bring up. Look, you're more than welcome to like or dislike a game at any reason, but this video showed some extremely petty and some very misinformed opinions on the latest game. And that's not the game's fault. It's the fault of the person who can't be bothered to actually look at the opening as a whole. And the way you kept on blaming Vic, yeah, I'm not a fan of the character either, but her dislikability isn't due to her being a girl. It's due to her hero mentality that's actually pretty common in Americans. Think along the lines of college activists. You know how you see people protesting or breaking the law for the greater good? No, it was a side tangent. While the game is fun in my opinion, there are flaws to it, including a DLC paywall for the actual ending, which is complete and utter... Curse you, Capcom!